Konnichiwa minasan. Hello everyone. Welcome back to today's lesson. We're still covering grammar, but in today's lesson, we will be covering nouns, the copula des, and verbs. So sit tight and let's get started. We begin with nouns. Now, Japanese nouns have no gender distinctions, no singular or plural distinctions, and no articles. Thus, shokudo, cafeteria, can be a cafeteria, the cafeteria, cafeterias, or the cafeterias. Usually, the context determines the particular meaning of a word. With that in mind, we move on to the copula des with nouns. Now, in an English sentence A is B, the is part is an inflected form of the copula, which is a linking verb, to be. The English copula to be conjugates as am, are, or is, depending on the subject. The Japanese copula des, unlike the English to be, does not change its form according to the subject. Let's look at some examples of that. We begin with, Watashi wa gakusei desu. I am a student. In this case, des represents am. Next we have, Kochira wa Suzuki-san desu. This is Miss Suzuki. In this case, des represents is. Next we have, Watashi tachi wa sosugyōsei desu. We are alumni. In this case, des represents are. Moving on, we have the negation of the copula with nouns. The negative of des, which is to be, is ja arimasen, which means not to be, or de wa arimasen, which means not to be as well. Now, de wa arimasen is more formal and ja arimasen is more common in casual conversation. Let's look at some examples. We begin with, Watashi wa gakusei ja arimasen, or you can say, Watashi wa gakusei de wa arimasen. I am not a student. Next we have, Kore wa shokudo ja arimasen. Or you can say, Kore wa shokudo de wa arimasen. This is not a cafeteria. Next we have, Watashi tachi wa sensei ja arimasen. Or you can use, Watashi tachi wa sensei de wa arimasen. We are not teachers. We move on to verbs. The Japanese tense system, which only has a present and past, is formed with suffixes. Verb forms are not affected by person or number. The present affirmative suffix mas. The suffix mas indicates that the verb is in the present tense in the affirmative. Please note that Japanese uses the present tense to express future actions too. Let's take a look at the first word. We have ikimasu, which means go, am going, or will go. Next we have kimasu, which means come, am coming, or will come. Next, oyogimasu, which means swim, am swimming, or will swim. Let's look at some examples. Watashi tachi wa ashita ikimasu. We are going tomorrow. Next we have, Abe-san wa kyō kimasu. Mrs. Abe will come today. Next we have, Watashi wa mainichi oyogimasu. I swim every day. Note that Japanese verbs, like the copula des, to be, stand at the end of the sentence. We move on to the present negative suffix masen. Masen is the negative form of mas. Let's look at how it changes now. We begin with ikimasen, do not go, am not going, or will not go. Next we have kimasen, do not come, am not coming, will not come. And we have 泳ぎません do not swim, am not swimming, will not swim. Let's look at some examples. We start off with 私は行きません I am not going. 山田さんは今日来ません Mr. Yamada will not come today. 私たちは明日泳ぎません We will not swim tomorrow. Let's move on to ましょう which means let's. ましょう indicates a suggestion. For example, 行きましょう let's go. 食べましょう let's eat. 泳ぎましょう let's swim. Alright, now that wraps it up for today's lesson. Please tune in to the next lesson where we will cover personal pronouns, deletion of subject, and questions. Thank you. どうもありがとうございます。じゃあね。バイバイ。